Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer here from The Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of Your Favorite Game, joined by my co-hosts, One Hit Wonder George Foster.
Hello.
And nailed it on the first try, Stacey Henley.
Hello.
Oh, damn, they're getting better. Okay, no response there. Good.
Today we're here to talk about our favorite games that got no sequel. And this was actually a little harder than I thought it was. It turns out really good games get sequels.
But not always.
Not always. Yeah.
But not always. And I do have a good solid list, though I did find that most of the games I want to talk about are all the ones where people go, when are we getting a sequel? When are we getting a sequel?
Yeah, mine too.
You know, they're like the pretty obvious ones. But I have some fun ones too. This is interesting when I think about, I have a film background. Stacey's a big fan of films. George has seen a movie or two. And
just the two.
Just two. And there are certain kinds of movies that always get sequels. But a lot of the best movies ever, I would even say most of the best movies ever, don't have sequels. Yeah. And yet in games, if you make a good game, you have to make another one. It's almost a rule.
Yeah.
If you don't, something went wrong. And that's what I found when I was going through this list. Like, if it didn't get a sequel, it wasn't very successful, or something went horribly wrong.
Yeah, now you've said that, I'm looking at my list. I'm like, that's the case for some of them, but there's one on there that I'm like, that's really weird that we don't have one.
Yeah, but that's so rare, right? You only could think of one.
It is rare. Very clever. You'll get that later.
We'll circle back.
Even the games that are like made to be prestige movie styles that kind of fit as a single thing, like The Last of Us tells its own completely isolated story, is meant to kind of mimic like cinematic storytelling, but it was a huge. It became an IP. It did it. It extended beyond being a story or a good piece of art into being a piece of property that a billion-dollar company owns, and therefore we got a second one. And Neil Druckmann saying, "No, we might not get a third." I'm like, I think we will.
I think we will.
I believe we shall.
Yeah, it's almost a foregone conclusion is until it stops being successful, they will continue every franchise. They will continue Last of Us until it stops spitting out money.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how games are. And typically for the better, because another difference between games and movies is that sequels are pretty much always better than the first one.
Yes.
Not true for movies.
Controversial.
I don't think that's controversial.
I don't think that's a controversial view at all. Do you think movie sequels are better? Is this where you're coming from?
No. Not every game sequel is better, though. I don't find. Bioshock 2, there you go, right off the top of my head. Is that better than the first?
A lot of people would have Infinite as their favourite, just to go with.
I think that's true, yeah.
Wrong'uns.
I think more so these days as well, because there are some quite big technological leaps. Like this story Ben broke recently, The Witcher 4 is not going to be out until 2027, I think. That's 12 years between The Witcher 3 and 4. Games, The Witcher 3 was great. It was the best RPG that existed at the time that it came out.
Yep.
Games have gotten better in the decade since. Therefore, The Witcher 4 might not be as enjoyed by some particular fans, but on a objective level, it's probably a better put together video game. And you don't really get that with movies. 10 years in movies doesn't really change much unless it's a movie like Avatar that uses the technology in a specific way.
And that's really just matter. Avatar, too.
Yeah.
That
short window we had of 3D movies.
Yeah.
And I think it's true of some CG movies where if you watch some of the older James Bonds, like the Pierce Brosnan James Bond, they look bad because they were CGs. The earlier ones are fine because they were practical.
Yeah.
The Daniel Craig ones are fine because CG's been kind of fixed and they do a lot of practical stuff. But the Pierce Brosnan ones, any movie made in the 90s basically looks bad because they could use computers, but only a little bit. Man,
when he rips off that plane wing and skis down that mountain in Die Another Day, it is horrendous.
I love Die Another Day, though. It's not very good, but I do love it.
The sleep mask I've been obsessed with. Well, this is such a tangent, but if I could wear a mask for 30 minutes and never have to sleep, I would for sure do it. I think that's
you never get to have diamonds in your face for the rest of your life.
That's true. I think I'm actually going to agree with George on this one. Sequels are not always better because Kingdom Hearts 3 is terrible, right, George?
No. It is worse. It is worse than 2, but it's not terrible.
All right. Well, we're not here to talk about sequels. We're here to talk about the exact opposite.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So it's Stacey's turn to go first. Stacey, what is your favorite game with no sequel?
Well, my favorite game with no sequel is Lollipop Chainsaw.
It's on my list. Yes.
I tried to think of games that I felt most fit the spirit of the question, not just a game that kind of came out and we would like. I'm not a massive Bloodborne fan, but that's the obvious example of everyone loves Bloodborne. Why isn't there a sequel? I went for a game that kind of fits the bill of, this is a one and done game.
Right.
I really love Lollipop Chainsaw. I didn't like Repop, just because it was bad and janky. Not a kind of it's aged
just not well done.
Anything. It's was I thought was a really
cash grab,
basically. But the original Lollipop Chainsaw, the era that it came out in of like really colorful excess in games and movies and television, really everything. That style of edginess was always really fun. That's why I like movies like Jennifer's Body. I think the way Lollipop Chainsaw kind of plays with all of the different kinds of appeal that it has, the different kinds of audience. It's always done very knowingly, which I think makes it very cool. I know for some people that means it ages badly because it's like, oh, she's a sexy cheerleader. How droll. I just think it's a really fun, colorful, vibrant game made in a time when people could say, I have a cool idea, and someone with a lot of money would say, yeah, sure. Which I don't necessarily think we get anymore. The gameplay is pretty fun. I love, obviously, the kind of general hack and slash action games. It's not anywhere near the level of precision as the greats of their genre. It's not Bayonetta, it's not Devil May Cry.
Sure.
But I think the way it mixes that with being so silly and replayable just gives it a lot of, I don't know, conjures a lot of joy. It's a very joyful game. And it's a game that I remember playing a lot. I have a couple more on my list that I love these games in a large part, because of the year in which I played them, the time where I played them. They meant a lot to me. And I think Lollipop Chainsaw is one of those cult classics where it probably is on lists. I actually didn't Google many lists this time. Usually I'm like, what game does have Tag Division? I know the games that I like that didn't get sequels. I imagine it probably is in and around those lists of like, oh, why doesn't this game have a sequel? But we all know why it doesn't have a sequel. It was kind of bad. It was kind of dated even when it came out.
Yeah.
It was made by James Gunn, who is not going to now step away from being in charge of one of the biggest media empires in the world to make a game about a cheerleader who has a boyfriend, her boyfriend's head tied to a hip. Like, we know why this game doesn't. You know why a sequel for this game doesn't exist. But it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is super fun. And you talked about the remake, and you said something to the effect of like, it's not so much that it hasn't aged well. And I agree, but it is definitely of its time, and I think that's part of its appeal. It's one of those like kind of time capsule games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned Jennifer's Body by Debs is another one of those to go back even further. There's a lot of those sorts of things, just different variants of like girl powerness that I think when you look back just become cringe. They don't become like, it's sexist or offensive, or you can't say this now. It just kind of the same reason we don't wear jelly shoes anymore. Like we don't have acid wash jeans. Like it's that. Yeah. It's the video game equivalent of shoulder pads. We don't do it anymore.
Is this, if anyone will know, I feel like you will. Well, all right, don't take this the wrong way. But is this a term, or am I about to coin this? Is slut punk a thing? Because I want to call Lollipop Chainsaw
that is a lot
slut
to
punk.
unpack right there.
I have not heard that. I feel like it does fit.
But doesn't it sound like that is a term?
It does. There was
obviously
there was the Riot Girl stuff. I think this would kind of come after that. Bimbo Core is a thing. I think it probably is beyond Bimbo Core.
Yeah.
I hate this word.
I love it. George, do you know Lollipop Chainsaw?
I very briefly rented it when it came out, and I just was not
into it.
I was too young.
14-year-old boy when this came out.
A fetus.
I can't remember when it came out, but I was definitely too young to kind of. I would have felt awkward playing it and would
In
have
the
stopped
family room?
immediately.
Yeah, there was an achievement for upskirt, and that
Yeah,
bit has
yeah.
aged poorly.
That has aged poorly. And then
That's
the remaster,
classic slut punk.
The remaster
2012
just
it came
bad.
out.
I
By the
was
way,
13, so on the cusp of not yet a
Discovering
manhood.
your manhood.
Yeah, ooh. I do not like that. So
Your
it's only like horrible
George's
terms
sexual
this episode.
awakening.
Let's move on.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on. George, what is your
Yes.
favorite game with no sequel?
Mine is a very depressing one because it's a game that has nearly had a sequel and probably will in the future, but for now it's relevant. Bully / Canis Canem Edit from Rockstar.
Yeah,
a really
I knew it was
obvious
gonna be
one.
that.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as not being super basic when it comes to my game taste, but whenever Rockstar does anything, I am all over it. Like, yeah, so for me, Bully, I don't know, I guess I played all the older GTAs, like every kid. Like I'd gone on it when I wasn't supposed to. I'd played San Andreas, been confused by all the swear words and killing.
Mm-hmm.
But Bully was the first one that like I was basically allowed to play. So it was kind of my introduction to the whole, like, not necessarily the open world genre, because I'm sure there were games I played like that. But it was definitely my proper introduction to how Rockstar does it.
Yeah.
And a story that sticks with me for my life, my anecdote, so it were, when I'd gone online, I'd seen this game about being a teenager in school. Like, I wasn't interested in the bully side of it, but I told my mum, I was like, oh, can I have this game? She was like, oh, what's it called? I was like, oh, I'll be clever. I'll call it Canis Canem Edit. So she doesn't know it's bully. Because obviously it was a big thing. I don't know if you two remember.
No.
Like,
yeah,
all over the
Eric
news.
won't remember that. It was only over here. In Britain, there was a
Really?
big trend. Yeah, it was changed in the UK. There was a big trend called happy slapping, where it was basically you would go up to someone and punch them, slap them, push them over and record it on your phone. And that was obviously the era of, I was going to say the era of everyone having phones. Everyone has phones now, but it was like a very novel thing. So like just children had it. So smartphones were scary.
Right.
So it was like it was front page of like all the newspapers. Like it wasn't like knife crime. It was like happy slapping, endemic.
Yeah.
Ours was even
because of that,
darker.
it was
We had the
changed.
choking game.
The what?
The choking game.
I mean, I heard you, but what does that mean?
The choking game is where you and your friend choke each other until you almost pass out to get that high.
And that was Eric's sexual awakening.
Yeah. I know you're dumbfounded, but this was on all the front page of all the newspapers. The kids are playing the
Your
choking
sexual
game.
awakening or choking game? This is a weird episode. I love it.
It is.
So anyway, so Bully was like all over. I wasn't aware of it because I don't think I would read newspapers now, let alone then as a kid. But I said to my mum, oh, can I get Canis Canem Edit? And I think it was when the scholarship edition was just coming out. So I think it was still just called Bully anyway, once they'd like remastered it. And she very quickly turned around and said, I know what that is. That's the bullying game. So in response, I ran up to the bathroom, locked myself in and cried for 4 hours. And I still didn't get the game. 4
hours?
Yeah, it was a long night. I didn't get the game until like a few birthdays later when I did get it, but yeah, incredible.
A few birthdays. So you pined for Bully for your teenage years.
I did.
Basically.
I don't know if you two can tell from how I am now, but I used to get pretty obsessive about games. I don't know if that comes across with everything I do, but
was it worth the wait?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I know it's a basic pick, but just the way Rockstar took the GTA formula and I don't want to say kidified it or like cut it down, but they just translated it into like a friend. Well, it's not even friendlier because it's like
it's not friendly.
Horrible game full of horrible people. But I don't know, you really come to like him. Like Jimmy Hopkins, I think nowadays I'd find him really boring. Like he's just kind of the straight man that you kind of make him be a bully if you want to be. But at
that's
the time,
kind of the irony, though. He gets bullied.
Yeah,
he is not
that's
really
what I said
a
to my
bully.
mum.
He
This is what I said to my mum.
The idea is he gets bullied in the game.
Yeah.
I tried to explain that.
But he takes his revenge, you know.
He does. He takes his
but
revenge.
you can't take your revenge, yeah. But yeah, and Bully 2 has been a thing. It's like a rumor on the wind for as many years as I've been alive, it feels like.
There was art of it leaked. I'm sure I've seen art of it.
There is, yeah. So they were working on it at one point. I think it was
So it was a girl in the second one, wasn't it? Supposed to be.
I know there's definitely like concept art of a girl, but there's like graffiti that says Jimmy was here, and it's like...
Well, a composer claimed he had scored it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a bunch of evidence, a bunch of reports about it that it,
Yeah,
it was in various stages.
I'm firmly in the belief that after GTA 6 they'll try and do that, but then also after GTA 6 they'll probably do Red Dead 3, and then after that they'll do GTA 7. So
I don't know if they'll make another game after GTA 6.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in like 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Tragic though, because it calls to mind to me when Rockstar was able to do these things, when they were able to make smaller games, like even on the days of like the Xbox 360 and stuff, like you still saw stuff like the table tennis game they made.
Table tennis. Another famous game with no sequel that Rockstar made as well. Did LA Noire?
Oh, we could name tons. Yeah, LA Noire. Yeah, Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors.
Yeah, oh my god, Warriors. Yeah.
Really like that.
All amazing games that could have had great sequels.
And they still didn't make Agent.
Yeah. Oh, that's one for another time. Cancelled games. But yeah, Bully, I'm always hoping for it. It is. I don't talk about it often because I guess it just doesn't really fit into the many things we discuss, but it's definitely up there of like impactful games for me.
That's interesting in thought, because it doesn't really fit in with any games. Really.
No.
Like you can sort of be like it's a middle school version of GTA, and that's kind of the closest to anything, right? Because it's this weird like slice of life.
Like, I wouldn't even call it
not an action game.
Yeah,
no,
not really
it's not an open world game. It's not a life sim necessarily. Like it's just Bully.
There are elements of it. Like the best bit, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this. I've got this in my notes to say, make sure you say it. But the classes, like they were awesome. I loved going to all the classes. Like I was literally the opposite of a bully in that game because I just loved doing all the mini games.
I know this is going to like draw groans, but I think the closest game that exists
if you
to
say
Bully
Persona.
is not just set in school. No, Yakuza.
Yeah.
Just kind of run around doing stuff. Lots of mini games. You know, you wander around.
Story driven.
Yeah, no groan. I think I agree.
You're totally right.
Cool.
That's a feature. Cool. Yeah. Yes. That's probably if we started Googling games that should have sequels, I bet that's number 1 or 2 on everyone's list.
I bet Bloodborne's still number 1.
Yeah, I'm going to say Bloodborne. I think it'll be really
always Bloodborne. Boy, wouldn't it be annoying if my choice was Bloodborne? Good thing it's not.
No, it's not. We don't have that taste. No, that's rude. Go on then, Eric. What is your favorite game that never got a sequel?
Well, I am the cheeky one this week. George was the cheeky one last week, and we all shouted him down about it.
Yep,
so
I remember.
I'm hoping that it's not my turn to get made fun of. My favorite game that doesn't have a sequel is Pokemon Conquest.
Oh no, that's entirely acceptable.
That's valid.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. I won't yell at you.
I like, to me, the spirit of this question was, what's a great game that didn't turn into a big franchise? And picking a Pokemon game is like the exact opposite of that.
No, but it'd be like if Mystery Dungeon didn't have a sequel and you chose Mystery Dungeon, I wouldn't be like, that's wrong because it's Pokemon. Like that's valid.
It didn't cross my mind. I do think it's definitely a cheeky interpretation, but I love Conquest, and we're never really ever going to get another chance to talk about it. Like, even Bully would do, like, schools, and we could mention it, but, like, what are we going to do with Conquest? Best games that are like Fire Emblem but aren't. Like,
right.
Which one was Conquest? You're gonna have
the one that was like Fire Emblem.
So give me more.
So Conquest is a really bizarre game, and the kind of thing we never saw before and we'll never see again. So Conquest is a crossover with another series called Nobunuga's Ambition. This is a long-running Japanese tactical RPG series based on the like feudal era figure Nobunaga,
who was like Shadows. Yep. I know.
Yeah, he's in every video game. One thing I love is like Japanese games put real people in them. It'd be like if we had like Abraham Lincoln in all of our video games.
It would be like if somebody made a game today, set it in Japan, and put a historical figure in there. That would be so cool, and nobody would care about it. There'd be like nobody angry about it.
Everyone would be normal.
It is so funny that they're like Black Samurai when all of these games is like Nobunaga casting fireballs. Like he was a real person, you know? Right. So Nobunuga's Ambition is this series about this like feudal era ruler. He's known as like the first unifier of Japan because he united all of the not tribes.
Clans?
Clans
either.
Maybe
yeah.
clan. Yeah.
Groups. Let's say groups to be
anyway.
considered.
Groups, yeah.
So this is Koei Tecmo making a Nobunuga's Ambition game, but skinning it with Pokemon.
Okay.
To the point where the final boss of the game is Nobunaga. Like the whole plot of the game is uniting the clans of the region. It literally is a Nobunuga's Ambition game with Pokemon. It's so weird.
What console was this on? I can't for the life of me picture
this
it.
is a DS.
Okay. I was figuring DS. That's kind of
this is a DS game. So it takes place in the Ransai region. We love a one-off Pokemon region. And this is like the feudal era of Pokemon, which is super cool because, it's like the distant past of the Pokemon world. We really didn't explore anything like that until Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
But between Conquest and Arceus, that wasn't really a thing. This was also like a black and white era game. So it has 200 Pokemon in it. A lot of them are black and white Pokemon. And black and white was also the one that kind of like explored the past and like the Great Pokemon War and stuff like that, right? So this was like part of that era. So this is a really cool tactics game. It's not super complicated, but you play on small grids. You build your Pokemon teams, and their stats matter, which was always a really interesting thing to me. Like their weaknesses and strengths against other Pokemon like mattered in your combat. It had push, which is always a winner for me in a tactics game. I love a good push mechanic to like reposition enemies.
I was thinking if that was a Pokemon thing, I just didn't know.
No, a tactics
like a psychic ability or something.
Yeah, push a fire Pokemon into the water.
Okay,
stuff
cool.
like that. Yeah.
But you can do Baldur's Gate's probably the biggest example. I know it's not a tactics game,
that
but it's
does
probably the most mainstream
well,
example of using it.
Love a good push. And the thing that's the most amazing about Conquest is that the campaign, it's a good 18 hours. You got to fight through all 17 of the different clans, like beat their leaders and meet Arceus at the end and get blessed to be the chosen one, all that. When that ends, 39 more campaigns open up. And you have to do 16 of them to get to the final story. Like the game starts with, we need to reunite this region. And the end of the game is, we've reunited this region. You have to do 17 campaigns to get to that.
Are they all 19-hour campaigns?
The game, if you wanted to do everything, it's about 100 hours. If you really completed it. But yeah,
thank you.
You put 19, 20 hours into this game and you find out that was the tutorial. I love that. I love that stuff.
That gives me chills. No.
And it brings me straight back to finishing Gold and Silver and then finding out that all of Red and Blue are in the game. It's kind of the exact same thing. You're just like, what? There's 20 times as much game as I thought there was. I love Conquest. We'll never get another one. It's really weird.
Why did we never get another one? Is it just a sales thing, or is it a partnership thing between Koei Tecmo?
I have no idea.
I think it's a Koei Tecmo thing, yeah. Because obviously they still do things like that. They're probably the best example of what it is people want following it, I guess, is you think of Persona 5 Strikers. Mm-hmm. It's basically Dynasty Warriors, but it's made with like Persona characters.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, or whatever.
Yeah, they've done loads of.
So I think it's just that the Pokemon, obviously they do still work with other companies, which Bandai did. Pokken and Snap. So we do see that, but it's never seemed like a thing. And the devs from Koei Tecmo, every time they get asked like, what IP do you want to use in the game? They never seem to say Pokemon. They were always like, we'd love to do a Star Wars game, a Mario game.
They said Star Wars to me, or they said Lord of the Rings as well.
Yeah, so there has never seemed that much interest on either side. And because of that, Conquest copies are really, really expensive now.
Yeah.
Because they're really rare and they're like collector's items.
Yeah, I actually, when I came up with this topic, because we picked this topic last night for today's show, and I was doing some cleaning up, and I found my 3DS, my Majora's Mask 3DS, and
Nice.
and I was like, "What game is in here?" And I popped it out. It was Conquest, and I was like, "Oh baby,
Holy Grail!"
here we go."
A sealed boxed one on eBay I'm looking at now is available for £173.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
It's one of
worse
those
prices
games.
for like games in CEX, but that still surprises me.
but not usually DS games.
Yeah.
True.
It's rare to have a high value DS game.
I could shake a cupboard and like 9 million DS games would fall in. I didn't even collect them that much. They're just everywhere somewhere.
Well, I want to talk about some more, and I specifically want to talk about games that had a lot of potential that they didn't quite reach and would have made amazing sequels. I have kind of a short list of games that should have got sequels because the game wasn't very good, and I know that's not how business works.
Okay.
But
we do see that with a lot of games. We do see a lot of games where people have like, I skipped the first one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even we talk about the leap from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Uncharted 1 had been the only one, we would have been like, it was really cool, and it felt like it could have been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out it was. And
I
think
The Witcher.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, The Witcher.
Which was a massive example.
And then there's a bunch that didn't get them. But before we jump into that, do either of you fancy a quiz?
Yes.
Go on.
All right, here we go. The quiz is games with canceled sequels.
Ooh.
Okay.
All of these
like
games,
sort of stuff.
all of these games never had a sequel, but they did at one point have a sequel in some stage of development. So here's how we'll do it. I'll give you the date. I'll give you the genre. I'll give you the platform. I'll give you the studio. And if you still don't have it by then, I have one last hint for you, but I'm pretty sure we'll knock them all out. Okay. The sooner you get it right, the more points you get. And I'll let you both have one guess per clue. Does that sound good?
This is the release date of the original game that didn't get a sequel, not the planned release date for the canceled one. Okay.
Yeah. All right. First one is a game that came out in 2019.
Ooh.
I'll give you both a guess.
Days Gone.
You nailed it. 5 points
Boom.
for Stacy. That's how the game works.
5?
Yep.
Get
5
lost.
5 points for date, 4 for genre, 3 for platform, 2 for studio, and 1 for the last
I didn't
10.
even get a
That's
chance.
how it's going to work. You did have a chance. Just to be clear, you had a
in
chance.
Fairness,
you didn't,
I wouldn't have.
You didn't
got
say
Days
any
Gone
words
for a while. Yeah.
Okay, next one. This is going to be quick. Next one, 2012.
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs. 5 points for George.
That's on my list as well. I wanted to mention.
That is on my list. We will definitely talk about that.
All right. These will get harder, I promise.
I'm really stressed.
Next one, 2023.
Ooh, and it's been cancelled already.
Yes.
Announced and cancelled sequel.
Now, I didn't say announced.
No,
but
yeah,
confirmed, I guess.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a big trailer thing, but a thing that we know exists.
We know that that they were working on a sequel. Yeah,
that's so recent that my brain isn't. Oh no, I don't know if I want to guess. The Last of Us Online.
Nope.
Does that count? Damn.
That didn't come out in 2023.
Nope. And Last of Us has a sequel.
Well, whatever. I got one.
No, I think I'm going to wait for the genre. I'll just be plugging a game.
Okay, the genre is action role-playing game. But I'm going to throw in open world because it is.
I am open world. I'm less sure now than I've just thought of something I'm going to guess anyway. Is it Ghostwire Tokyo?
No. Good guess. The platform is PS5 and PC. 2023
exclusive.
Got cancelled.
Not PC, so I guess not exclusive.
2023 action RPG / open world.
That's open world, yeah.
PS5
I would have played
and
this game.
PC.
Yeah, I bet I will have, and I'm annoyed about it.
I bet one of you's played this game.
Ooh, only one. That's interesting.
Who?
And do you want to take a guess?
No. I'm
Baldur's Gate.
No.
that's a good
Baldur's
guess,
Gate
though.
3.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It's already a sequel.
The studio that, or George, you want to take a guess? No.
No.
Okay, the studio is Luminous Productions.
Oh, Forspoken.
Forspoken. Yes, indeed.
Oh my god, really?
I would. Yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
That's 2 points for George.
Well done.
Well done. George is up by 2. Okay.
Did you play Forspoken, George?
Very briefly. It did not.
Oh, I didn't
do
think you did
anything
at
for
all.
me.
But Stacey, you played it.
I played it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did like 2 hours. It was just fine.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes.
This is 2015.
Ooh, okay.
Bloodborne.
No.
I didn't think one was
Bloodborne
announced.
2018, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Right?
I thought it just had a 10th anniversary.
Oh, maybe I'm completely wrong.
I think it
Alright.
has its 10th anniversary.
Yeah,
'cause it
that's
didn't
what
get
I was
tweeted or
going
anything.
off.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. Not
that's fine.
Bloodborne 2015.
2015.
You got a guess, George?
I've had my guess for the year anyway.
No.
Okay. The genre is action adventure.
Oh. Now that could mean anything.
Well, I can only mean a very specific type of game.
And I'll
come on, that
I'll
applies to
sweeten it.
all.
I'm going with the Wikipedia genre, but I'll sweeten it up and say third person shooter.
Ooh.
Third-person shooter from 2015.
Any guess?
No.
No, I need more.
guess.
The platform is PS4.
Okay, that does narrow it down.
An exclusive shooter that came out 10
The
years
Order
ago.
1886.
The Order!
That's
Oh, God damn
right.
it, George
George
was
just got in
Yeah.
there. 3 points for George. Oh boy.
Your camera's gone.
Really?
Oh, I love these quizzes. I love
Just went there.
All right, well, good, easy to jump in. Sorry about that.
them. I wouldn't have shouted it so fast.
This
but
is
it
the
was
new
just 'cause you-
camera I bought, by the way. I wonder if it's my power supply.
As I was getting through it, I was saying it, and I knew what it was, but obviously I was too busy saying the sentence before it. George just got in there.
Yeah, you both got there at almost the exact same time. That's 3 points for George. Next one.
Tough comeback.
Next one. This is a funny one. I believe. Okay, so next one is 2012.
I was 13.
Any guesses?
Don't know if this is right. I believe it did have a sequel announced at one point, and we've mentioned it today, so I'm going to go for it. Is it L.A. Noire?
Nope.
Is it Duke Nukem Forever?
No.
That's already a sequel.
The genre is
Oh,
indie puzzle platformer.
Puzzle platformer.
Oh,
Indie
It's Fez.
puzzle platform. It is Fez. Yes.
Oh.
You know why this is funny, George?
because he's a dickhead. Isn't he? Or is it?
So
Didn't
this
he like cry over like Soldier Boy saying his thing was bad?
this sequel got announced at a show, like an E3 showcase, as like our one more thing, and then after a Twitter spat, he canceled the game and left the industry, or claimed he was leaving the industry because
It's Phil Fish, right? That is.
and it,
Fez.
yeah, like maybe 2 weeks later.
Yeah. I remember the trailer.
This was officially announced and canceled in a 2-week time span.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Fez.
George is killing it. George has got
It's a
good little
5-point lead now,
here.
right?
I keep misunderstanding the rules, but then I get it.
It is a 9-point lead for George. Okay, next game. 2001.
Oh, I'm out.
This is my era. Oh my god.
I was
know
2.
this. So far away that now you're just kind of thinking of games that had a sequel announced.
Oh my gosh. This one's a cheater. I cheated on this one. This game is a sequel and I didn't know, and I just learned that. This game is a sequel. But you probably wouldn't know that. Because I didn't. Sorry, I've really confused it now. Stacey, do you have a 2001 guess?
Let's go for a game that I nearly picked and then realized it also was a sequel, so I hope they line up. Was it Mashed Drive to Survive?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Great
I didn't even
video
know
game.
Yeah.
It was like Demolition Derby, but
Ah.
a different franchise. But it got a sequel that had a completely different name called Gas.
You have a guess, George, of a
I
2001 game that I
absolutely
didn't
need
know
more
was
details.
a sequel?
Yeah, this is. I'm not losing this lead for that.
This is a 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to find out.
Oh, okay.
Both play a lot of 3D platformers, especially that era. I would definitely will have played this. A platformer that came out in...
is this Conker's Bad Fur Day?
It is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Because it is technically a sequel to...
it's a sequel to Conker's Pocket
12,
Tales.
Yeah, and it was going to be 12 Tales as well.
And there was a Conquest spin-off as well.
Conker was on my list.
There's a Conker spin-off?
Yeah, it was like a pre-Dreams Dreams, wasn't it?
Project Spark.
There we go.
Yeah. Where is it? Why aren't I this knowledgeable all the time? This is
I picked
great.
a bad one. The proposed sequel, or the one that was in development, was Conker's Other Bad Day.
Yeah.
Which never happened. Okay. The rest of them, I'm sure, are not sequels and don't have them. Here we go. Our next game is 2020.
Ugh.
Any guesses?
I keep struggling to remember what came out each
Yeah.
year.
You've both had a 5-point round here, so I know you can do it.
I think this was 2021. I don't know anything about the sequels, but I'm going to guess anyway. I need a guess. Stray.
Yep. No. Not a bad guess. Not because they're related. It's just not a bad guess. George, any guess? 2020 pandemic game? Okay. Then we go to genre, which is open world action adventure.
Scarlet Nexus.
No. George?
I'm going to need more.
Okay. The platform is PS4, PS5, Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and Stadia.
Oh my god! Wow, if it's on the Switch as well, that is interesting. Open world Switch game.
Open world on everything, including Stadia.
Stadia is a weird.
It's kind of a big deal for Stadia if you were in the Stadia circles.
I would have said Journey to a Savage Planet, but that is getting a sequel. So
it is, yeah.
I've got a weird image in my head of
a
Stadia
slightly earlier as well.
Did we go to the studio?
Yeah.
The studio is Ubisoft Quebec.
Immortal Phoenix Rising?
That's right.
Oh.
For a second, I thought you'd both memory hold this game.
No, I really liked Immortal. I didn't realize it was 2020.
I did quite like this one. It would have been very late 2020.
Stacy, you will need 5 points on the next 3 to beat George.
Wow. Okay.
Good luck to you. Okay. Next game. This is a 2006 game.
Don't think I'll be getting those points. 2006. What year would that have been? I'm just going to go for another game on my list, which I think came out in 2006, and hope that anyone besides me has even heard of this thing and say Wet.
No, and I've never heard of it.
Wet is good.
You would have.
Yeah, I liked Wet.
George, you have a guess?
Haze? Was that that year?
No, but that was around there.
Yeah,
I want to say it's older. Okay. What's next? Genre. Genre is first person shooter.
Ooh.
Alpha Protocol?
No.
Was that even a first person shooter?
Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Was Alpha Protocol the third person spy one? Is that what I'm thinking of?
It was the spy one. I've actually not played it. I just know it's a bigger game that everyone goes on about.
First person 2006. My mind jumps to Fear, but I know that's had sequels, so I'm gonna need more.
Okay. Next is platform, which is Xbox 360 and PC.
God.
A lot of games that era were, though. It wasn't necessarily exclusive. Around that time, that was when the PS3 was like delayed, so a lot of games ended up on Xbox just by default.
True.
First person shooter from 2006 on Xbox 360.
It's obviously not a Halo, because that had a lot
this
of
game. This game has never been on a PlayStation.
Okay.
It has been on... you're going to think I'm making these words up. It has been on Windows and 360 is what it launched on. It has also been on Mac OS X, Symbian, Linux, and Zeebo.
The hell is a Zeebo?
Probably streaming services, I would guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Single player and multiplayer.
I need more info.
More?
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Studio. Human Head Studios.
Oh god. No, that's vaguely ringing a bell.
Lying for me. I feel like when we do these, every time we do the discussion bit, George is like, "Oh, that's so smart. I never would have thought of that." Then we do the quizzes, and I'm like, "I have no idea about video games. Never heard of them. Never played them."
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna piss me off though.
Okay. Well, then this is the first one. I got to give you the clue.
Yeah.
After the aborted sequel, the rights for this game were passed to Bethesda Softworks.
Is it Doom?
No.
No, because that's had a bunch of sequels.
Oh, I keep doing that. God damn it.
Doom has so many sequels.
But then Bethesda haven't done anything with it, because then there'd be a sequel.
Ha 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 ha!
This is unfair.
I can't. Nah.
What if I told you Bethesda made a game with the same name that's not a sequel?
Prey.
Oh!
Yes. It is Prey. I'm going to give Stacey the point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I just need 14 points from this last question, right?
There's two more.
Okay.
Yes, Prey 2006 had a sequel that was like kind of deeply in development.
The Bounty Hunter one. That's what's annoying. I know this one as well.
Okay, next we have another 2006.
I didn't have a guess the first time.
No, you're going to have to give more.
A 2006 game that is a action adventure.
Fracture?
Nope.
Oh, that's cool.
No, I don't think I have one.
Oh, I think I got it.
The platform is PS2, Wii, Xbox 360, Windows, Android, and iOS. But I'm certainly not at launch. Certainly not at launch.
Also had Wii functionality.
Yeah.
No, because it had a sequel. I'm gonna gamble on you making two mistakes, which I doubt you would, and say, is it Red Steel?
No,
because that had a sequel.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be that anyway.
Any guess, George?
No, I need more.
All right, next is the studio. Ready? Rockstar Vancouver.
Oh my god, what did they do?
Is this Bully?
Yes, it's Bully.
Oh, for God's sake!
I feel like Stacey wins the game for that one because I made the quiz before I knew what your game was.
Yeah. Oh.
And I gave you Rockstar Vancouver, and you're like, "What did Rockstar make?"
my mind went to Manhunt. I was like, that has had a sequel. Oh.
All right.
Table tennis.
Louise. Okay. So here's the thing. This last one, I don't think either of you will get, but because I just said that, maybe you will. Okay. So here we go. The date is 2005.
Too Human.
No.
Damn.
No idea.
The genre is first-person shooter.
I think this is too early for it, but I'm gonna guess because I don't have another choice. Spec Ops?
No.
Oh, is this that one you've talked about before? Was that even a first-person shooter? You have talked about it before, haven't you?
Take a guess, man.
I can't remember its name.
All right, then I'll move on to the platform. This is PS2 and Xbox.
God, it is. It is the one you're always on about.
Is this the one where it was cancelled before the game came out?
This game came out and was real, but its sequel is not.
I know, but there was a game where you mentioned it on the show a little while ago. The studio was shut down the rights or so just before the game came out, so it wasn't promoted, and you really liked that game.
Exactly the one I think it is.
Yep, might be that one.
Oh no, what is that called?
Green with a D.
Dark Watch. Dark Watch.
Dark Watch is correct.
Dark Watch.
Dark Watch is correct.
Stace gave me that. I was not on D. I was on O.
I actually did have in my head Darkwing Duck, and I was like, I know it's not that, but it was like rattling around.
If you would like some very cool details about what the Dark Watch sequel was, I have a very long report about it on thegamer.com with concept art, behind the scenes stuff from the developers. It's super cool. They had a lot of really cool ideas for that game. But unfortunately, they got bought by Activision. That game got canceled. But High Moon's still around, just helping out with Call of Duty.
Right.
That's Dark Watch. George wasn't even sure if it was a first-person shooter. Breaks my heart. Breaks my dang heart. All right.
I still got it.
Congratulations, George. A landslide victory.
A moral victory after I got Bully, I think.
Oh, come on.
I agree. Next week, I'll have to make a Stacy quiz. We still have a little bit of time. Like I said,
Eric.
Oh, no. How absurd.
I mean, I love it because I get to vape whenever you go. So
yeah. How did this not happen once yesterday? All I'm doing it is unplugging it and plugging it back in, and then it comes back. Okay, we still have a little bit of time. Like I said, I wanted to bring up some games that I think really needed sequels. Really just like didn't come together, but I feel like a sequel really would have. And the first one is one we've... And I'm gone again. Sorry, y'all.
I'm really intrigued to hear the ones that you think that needed the sequel to reach up to it. And I've been blue for 46 minutes.
I'm going to tell you, buddy. Okay. The first one is one we already talked about, The Order 1886.
Yeah, I do agree.
Stunning, really cool world, just sort of like a really short game that wasn't that innovative. It looked like it was a next-gen PS3 game, and then it was just kind of whatever. And I feel like if they had kept going, if they had kept exploring that world, there was something there. Agreed. But we'll never know. I also want to mention Enslaved.
Yeah, that was
Odyssey to the West.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Really liked Enslaved.
Enslaved was written by the author of The Beach and the director of Ex Machina.
Alex
Garland. He wrote a bunch of Danny Boyle movies like what's it called?
Sunshine, yeah.
Sunshine. Which I love Sunshine. Yeah.
Men.
Yeah, he made Men, that's right. And Civil War.
Yeah.
And Annihilation. Just like super good writer, director. Wrote this really weird like action platformer kind of game, I guess. Yeah. Very cinematic.
It's also an adaptation of Journey to the West, which is what Dragon Ball's based on.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, George fact.
Kind of Black Myth as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game like loses steam pretty bad. I think
really bad. Like the first few hours are great, and then it's like.
Yeah, but it's really cool, and I think there was more there. And then also Tokyo Jungle, which is a game.
I hear this a lot. I never saw it.
Really obsessed with.
People
I was
really like
it. It was like affecting my grades. I was so like deep in this game, unlocking new animals. Like, I think I figured out how to get the tiger. I just need one more run. I can get it. I think this could have turned into a bigger. This predated the big roguelike boom, and I feel like some kind of spiritual successor or sequel would do really well because it's such a cool game. It's a post-apocalyptic game where you play animals, you run around trying not to get eaten by bigger animals, living as long as you can, breeding, and it's a roguelike. And then through different accomplishments, you unlock more animals. And then it's a very different game depending on what animal you are because the ecosystem responds to where you are in the food chain. So it's super cool. I love Tokyo Jungle. I have like a laundry list of a few more just to give a shout out to, but do either of you have any particular ones you want to mention?
I don't have one that I feel like didn't reach its potential. But just games I think deserve a sequel. There's some obvious ones. Sleeping Dogs, like that was really high up my list.
Yeah.
We talked about Conquest Bad Fur Day, but I would love to see him back. And then a George classic, Brutal Legend. Dear
Brutal
God,
Legend,
please.
yeah,
That will never happen. It's too expensive. It's too much work. Like, but I said that about Psychonauts. So, those are my picks.
Yeah. The topic wasn't necessarily games that should have sequels, just games that don't.
Well, they don't, but they should.
So I think Disco Elysium is a game that doesn't have a sequel and shouldn't. And it's worth mentioning for sure.
I love Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. It's going to get 7 sequels, all made by different studios who claimed they created the first one.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it.
It's going to be a Night of the Living Dead situation where we have 4 games called Disco Elysium 2. Heavenly Sword? Either of you fans of Heavenly Sword?
No.
You don't know
As you say that, I got Bravely Default in my head as you said that.
It's you play as Nariko, right? It was a PS3 game.
Yeah, PS3 exclusive, kind of the girl version of Kratos.
Yeah.
It was basically a God of War.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think I would like that.
Yeah. Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do know this game.
Heavenly Sword. No one's mentioned Sleeping Dogs yet, have we? Oh, that was in our quiz, but
yeah, George just did.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't listening. Sorry, George.
Fun fact. Ouch. Fun fact. Sleeping Dogs did have a sequel in development at one point.
Yes,
it was going to
the quiz.
It was in the quiz. That's what the quiz was about.
Oh, whatever.
Wow, we're losing it. We're coming up on time.
The quiz has taken me out of it. I'm high on victory.
Okay. 2006 Prey was in the quiz, but of course I have to mention 2017 Prey, the greatest game ever made of all time, forever. Boy, I would have loved a sequel to that one. What a tragedy that was. Really at the height of the power of reviews, wasn't it? Because that one got a bad review from IGN and it changed a lot of people's lives.
Do you think if it had got a sequel, it would have been more like an anthology thing though? Because it's such a specific narrative. Like with The Last of Us, you can just say, and then here's what happens 10 years later.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with Prey.
I think though the reveal at the end that am I spoiling the end of Prey right now? I guess I am. The reveal that no matter what choice you have made in the game, the mimics were like contained and rescued and taken away for research. You can just do that again somewhere else. You could do it on Earth, the mimics are still around and still a threat. So
that's I guess so.
You could see how that plays out. Dante's Inferno. I don't know who wants a sequel to it or if, but
no.
Just one that popped in my head, and then Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah,
Sunset
Overdrive's on my list. That is a
great game, no sequel.
It basically got a sequel. They just called it Spider-Man.
They called it Spider-Man. Yeah.
You can so see the
there's no shooting.
Blocks.
I mean, there is definitely different parts to Sunset Overdrive, like the funky weapons and the kind of the Saints Row style humor is not in Spider-Man. Obviously, the Traverse, which is the big thing, is.
That's the thing I liked most about Sunset Overdrive, though. When I think about playing that game, I think about having like the massive combo going up, you're running around buildings, and Spider-Man achieves that. But I would like to see Insomniac do that. Like, obviously, you see them do their wacky weapons and like Ratchet and stuff, but none of them look like a dick and balls. So.
Yeah.
Nope. They're gonna do Venom and then Spider-Man again, and then the Fantastic Four, and then Wolverine and then Spider-Man again.
Yeah. I have a couple of pet favorites. I wasn't sure how much mileage we get out of these, but the first one was Jade Empire.
Yeah.
BioWare
classic.
Way
before George's time. That.
Yeah. I think we got some fans on the site who talk about it a lot.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then another Arcane game, Arx Fatalis. Which is just such a cool immersive sim, like a proto immersive sim, where it's like a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy world, but society is contained underground, and through like layers, like a hierarchy, like a class system, and it's a really cool interconnected underground world where you in a very immersive sim way like find shortcuts and different routes to get above and below and all around, and it's just got a really cool fantasy story. Arx Fatalis is a really cool game. They gave it away for free on the Bethesda launcher a couple years ago. So I think people did kind of discover it then. And the last one I had was Spore. Remember Spore?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. I do. Well, I remember again, I don't know if I'm just something on my mind this episode, but I remember people making a lot of dicks in Spore.
That's true.
That's all it was remembered for.
Spore did not live up to its promise of what Spore was going to be. Spore was a really cool game in its own right, but was not what we were promised.
It was the era of that, though. Like, it was the era of, like, Fable and those sorts of games.
Isn't it Peter Molyneux? Isn't Spore Peter Molyneux?
Is it a Molyneux?
It's the Sims creator. I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Gotcha.
That's going to bug me.
Well, yes, Spore is not the universe evolution sim that we expected, but I think there's still demand for that. I think like a modern Spore, people would dig it. If people heard like Spore 2 right now, I think they'd be hyped for it.
Yeah, I think we've come around to that. I think
it's aged well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my whole list. Oh, Hollow Knight. Wouldn't it be cool if Hollow Knight got a sequel? Hollow Knight really should have a sequel.
Yeah.
Like that game was
massive.
massive.
A really dangerous game. We record these ahead of time. Like it could be at any moment.
That's true. It could happen at any moment. Yeah. If there is a sequel to Hollow Knight and you're hearing this, just there wasn't when I said it. Okay. That's it. That's it for me. You guys good? We good?
Yeah.
All right. That's fun. I like that one. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Those are our favorite games with no sequels. Please let us know your favorite games without sequels too. Leave us a comment down below. We'll be back next week with another episode of Your Favorite Game. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, visit us at thegamer.com. That's The Gamer. No spaces.